Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from our channel Immortal News. Today we invite you to join us for a gentle and heartfelt remembrance. We'll be honoring the American stars we've recently lost, as well as beloved figures from around the world whose lives touched us in ways we may not even realize until they're gone. These are the stories of people who made us smile, inspired us, and left behind memories that continue to echo in our hearts. Before we begin, if you could take a moment to give this video a like, it would truly mean a lot. Your support helps us continue sharing these meaningful tributes and keeping their legacies alive. Thank you for being here with us. Now, let's begin. Number 6. The people who make music that lasts are the ones who mean every note. Those words, shared by one of Justin Barron's earliest producers, echo the spirit he brought to every recording, rehearsal, and stage he touched. Best known for his role as bassist and harmony vocalist in the Redwalls, Justin helped craft a timeless sound that blended vintage flair with youthful passion. Raised in the northern suburbs of Chicago, he grew into a musician whose influence reached far beyond city limits. With his brother Logan and guitarist Andrew Langer, Justin founded the Redwalls in the early 2000s. What began with covers quickly evolved into original music rooted in British invasion tones and American rock soul. From indie club shows to festival stages, Justin's presence grounded the band's sound with melodic, driving bass lines and seamless vocal blends. Albums like Universal Blues and De Nova remain fan favorites, showcasing his musicianship and heart. Through more than 2 decades of music making, Justin remained a steady, kind presence, on stage and off. His peers remember him as not only talented, but generous, sincere, and a joy to be around. Whether in the studio or packed tour vans, he led with warmth and a deep belief in the power of song. He passed away recently at an age far too young, leaving behind a profound silence in the Chicago music community and beyond. The cause, shared with permission by those close to him, was sudden and related to natural causes. Social media has since been filled with heartfelt tributes, memories of basement shows, festival sunrises, and quiet encouragement from a musician who never stopped rooting for others. As one former bandmate wrote, "Justin didn't just play the music, he believed in every part of it, and it made all of us believe too." While details about a memorial or service remain private, what endures is the music he helped create. His bass lines still hum through speakers, his voice still rides high on choruses that meant so much to so many. Justin Barron's legacy isn't just in albums or shows, it's in every moment he made feel a little richer with music, generosity, and heart. Tributes to Justin Barron. Number 5. You couldn't play like Steve Cropper. You could only hope to feel like he made you feel. Those words, once spoken by a fellow musician, capture the quiet magic behind a man whose guitar spoke volumes. Steve Cropper passed away peacefully at the age of 82, surrounded by loved ones after battling a brief illness. Known to many simply as the Colonel, Cropper shaped the sound of American soul music, laying down grooves that became the heartbeat of a generation. He didn't seek the spotlight, but the spotlight found him. Behind the scenes, his fingers danced across timeless recordings like "Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay" and "Green Onions." A founding member of Booker T and the MGs, he helped define the sound of Stax Records and brought raw energy and emotion to every track he touched. Cropper played behind legends, Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, Carla Thomas, but never saw himself as one. Still, his influence was everywhere, in the riffs that moved hips, in the tones that moved hearts, and in the countless musicians who tried to channel his subtle, powerful rhythm. Later, with the Blues Brothers Band, he brought soul and style to a whole new audience. His stage presence was cool, understated, and effortless, just like his playing. Whether in packed arenas or intimate studios, Cropper delivered authenticity. A true craftsman, he wasn't just playing parts, he was building them, shaping the structure of songs, refining lyrics, and letting the music breathe. His production and songwriting left an unmistakable mark on each record. He was humble, kind, and full of heart. To those who knew him, he was more than a legend. He was a mentor, a friend, a warm spirit who let his music do most of the talking. Fellow musician and friend Eric Clapton once said, "Cropper's sound could carry the whole band without saying a word." Now, his hands rest, but his sound continues, in every bass line, every soul band, and every moment where music brings people closer. Tributes to Steve Cropper. Number 4. Faith is not a fragile thing, Luci Shaw once wrote. It cleaves to light through all the shadows. Through 96 remarkable years, she proved those words with her life. A beloved poet, essayist, and mentor, Luci Shaw passed away peacefully after a brief illness. Her passing leaves a quiet space in the hearts of readers, students, artists, and all who were changed by her voice. Born in England and raised across continents, Shaw brought a global sensitivity to her work. From the pages of her early poems to her later essays, she offered a luminous blend of wisdom, honesty, and joy. Her writing invited readers to see the sacred in the ordinary: trees, water, silence, each image carrying a deeper truth. For over 7 decades, her poetry shaped Christian literary culture. Collections like Listen to the Green and Harvesting Fog became treasured companions for those seeking insight and awe. Her collaboration with Madeleine L'Angle, including the cherished Winter Song, illustrated her gift for friendship and shared vision. She helped found Harold Shaw Publishers with her first husband, nurturing thoughtful Christian books during a critical era. Later, as writer-in-residence at Regent College, she taught new generations to seek beauty and courage in art rooted in faith. Known for her gracious presence, Shaw drew others in not just through her work, but through who she was. Writers and musicians describe her as generous, curious, and deeply kind, a mentor who delighted in the discoveries of others. Poet and colleague Malcolm Guite described her as a quiet flame, warming her circle while offering lasting light. She is survived by her children, extended family, and a wide circle of friends and colleagues. In the coming months, institutions across North America and beyond are expected to honor her through readings, gatherings, and shared remembrances. Luci Shaw's legacy will echo through the songs composed from her lines, the hearts of those she mentored, and the countless readers who, through her words, learned to attend to mystery. She showed us that the world is always, quietly, speaking wonder, if we slow down and listen. Tributes to Luci Shaw. Number 3. You can't really know Australia until you've sat around a campfire and listened to one of Ted Egan's yarns. Ted Egan, the treasured Australian singer, songwriter, and storyteller, has passed away peacefully at the age of 93. A quiet end for a man whose voice echoed across red deserts, bush schools, and dusty pubs far and wide. From his earliest days wandering the Northern Territory as a teen, Ted carved a path as a voice of the Outback. He sang not just of country but of people, stockmen, drovers, traditional owners, and pioneers. With over 30 albums and 350 original songs, his music painted a vivid portrait of Australia's heart. But Ted wasn't just a musician. He was a schoolteacher in the bush, a public servant, and a passionate champion of Aboriginal communities. His song Gurindji Blues, created with Vincent Lingiari during the Wave Hill Walk-Off, became an anthem of recognition and land rights. It's hard to understate the weight that song held, and still holds. His stories extended beyond music. He authored several books, became the face of documentary series like This Land Australia, and served as the Northern Territory's administrator for 4 thoughtful years. His leadership, marked by grace and authentic connection, earned him nationwide respect. Appointed an Officer of the Order of Australia, twice, Ted's life was one of service to culture, to history, and to truth. From campfire choruses to national honors, he never strayed from his roots or lost his heartfelt, quiet wisdom. Australian Folk Festival co-founder Wendy Ebsworth once said, "Ted told Australia's story like no one else, with truth, humor, and heart. That heart beats strongest in places many never see but all should know." Even in his 80s, Ted kept singing, writing, and learning. At 82, he earned a PhD, a final nod to his lifelong curiosity and his deep respect for our shared past. Ted Egan passed due to natural causes, surrounded by the country he devoted his life to celebrating. He leaves behind not just songs and stories, but a deep sense of who we are as Australians. His music endures. So does the memory of a man who helped the rest of us listen more closely to the land and its people. Tributes to Ted Egan. Number 2, everything is paintable. That simple statement defined how Mel Leipzig viewed the world and shaped the work he would create across more than 6 decades. With a brush in hand and a heart tuned to the humanity around him, he painted life with honesty, warmth, and unmistakable clarity. Mel passed away peacefully at the age of 90. His passing followed a period of declining health, but his creative spirit burned bright until the end. Best known for his detailed, life-painted portraits, Mel captured everyday people, janitors, artists, museum staff, and portrayed them with the same care as he would a dignitary. He painted from life, never from photos, believing that only direct interaction could reveal a subject's soul. His work spoke to the dignity and individuality of his sitters, reflected in every gesture and background detail. Over his career, Mel painted hundreds of portraits. His commitment to realism stood strong even when abstract art dominated the scene. That bold choice made him a trailblazer in American figurative painting. His works now rest in collections across the country, including the Whitney Museum and the White House, but Mel's influence stretched far beyond the canvas. As a professor at Mercer County Community College for over 4 decades, he mentored generations of young artists. He didn't just teach art, he inspired purpose. Former students often described him as generous, sharp-witted, and deeply encouraging. He was also beloved by fellow artists. Curator Dan Aubrey shared, "He'll be remembered not only for his artistic accomplishments and astonishing productivity, but for how he pushed others to believe in their vision too." Always approachable, Mel often painted in public spaces, engaging anyone who wandered by. During his time as artist in residence at the New Jersey State Museum, visitors found more than a painter at work. They found wisdom, curiosity, and kindness. He chronicled life with color, detail, and a quiet reverence for the everyday. He leaves behind a rare legacy, one not just of images, but of empathy on canvas. Mel Leipzig showed us that art is everywhere, and that people, in all their complexity, are worthy subjects. Tributes to Mel Leipzig. What's trending on the internet? News 1. Imagine looking in the mirror and deciding, with a full heart, that who you are is more than enough. That is exactly what 30-year-old Canadian model Winnie Harlow is celebrating today. Winnie, who was born Chantel Brown Young in the Toronto area and lives with the skin condition vitiligo, has become one of the most recognizable faces in fashion. She first gained national attention on a popular modeling competition show, and went on to walk the runways of major fashion weeks, appear in global campaigns, and build her own successful skincare line. Now, in a new interview, she's opening up about what it really means to feel comfortable in her own skin. Winnie explains that as a child and teenager, life wasn't always easy. She was teased for the white patches on her skin, and at times felt like she didn't belong. But instead of letting those painful moments define her, she chose to turn them into strength. Step by step, she learned to see her vitiligo, not as something to hide, but as something that makes her unique. Today, Winnie says she feels blessed to be herself. She talks about the importance of self-acceptance, of speaking kindly to yourself, and of surrounding yourself with people who see your worth. She's grateful to her family, to her supporters across Canada, the United States, and around the world, and especially to the young people who tell her she's helped them feel less alone. Her story is not just about fashion or fame. It's about a young woman who took something others said was a flaw and turned it into her greatest strength. She's using her platform to show that beauty comes in many forms, and that confidence grows when we stop comparing ourselves to others and start appreciating who we already are. For older viewers who have watched standards of beauty change over the decades, Winnie's journey is a powerful reminder that every generation can push the world a little closer to kindness and acceptance. Whether you're 18 or 80, her message is simple and timeless. You are worthy, exactly as you are. As Winnie Harlow continues to walk runways, lead businesses, and share her story, she will be remembered not just as a trailblazing model, but as a shining example of courage, gratitude, and the quiet, steady power of learning to love yourself. News 2. You know those friendships that feel like they've stood the test of time, trends, and Hollywood itself? That's exactly what we saw when Goldie Hawn at 79 was moved to tears during a beautiful tribute to her longtime friend, 79-year-old Diane Keaton in New York. At a special celebration honoring Diane's incredible career and one-of-a-kind spirit, Goldie took the stage to speak about the woman she shared decades of laughter, memories, and movie history with. Surrounded by friends, family, and fans, Goldie's voice trembled as she talked about how Diane has always stayed true to herself, with that signature mix of wit, warmth, and just the right touch of quirky charm. She remembered the early days, when they were young women in a changing Hollywood, cheering each other on through auditions, successes, and the occasional heartbreak. Goldie talked about Diane's courage in being different, her famous style, and her quiet strength behind the scenes as a loyal friend, a devoted mother, and a steady presence in an ever-changing industry. The room grew still as Goldie shared how Diane has inspired so many people to embrace who they are, wrinkles, wisdom, and all. It wasn't about movie awards or box office numbers. It was about kindness, generosity, and the sort of friendship that shows up year after year, no matter what life brings. At one point, Goldie wiped away tears, laughing softly as she admitted that Diane could always make her laugh at the exact moment she wanted to cry. That mix of emotion and humor is something so many fans recognize from Diane's unforgettable roles, from romantic comedies to heartfelt dramas that have accompanied audiences through their own life chapters. Those in attendance said you could feel the love in the room, not just for Diane's long and remarkable career, but for the shared history these two women represent. A reminder that aging can be graceful, joyful, and meaningful when it's rooted in real connection. In a world that often moves too fast, this gentle, emotional tribute stood out online, with viewers sharing clips and comments about how touching it was to see two Hollywood legends celebrating each other with such honesty and affection. As the evening wrapped up, the message was clear. Diane Keaton is being honored not only as an iconic actress, but as a loyal friend and a brave, original soul. And Goldie Hawn's heartfelt tears reminded everyone watching that true friendship is one of life's greatest achievements. For many fans, this tribute will be remembered as a warm, uplifting moment that celebrates growing older with grace, holding on to the people who know our stories, and cherishing those rare friendships that last a lifetime. News 3. You know, every so often a voice comes along that feels almost otherworldly, and even years later people still stop and listen. That's exactly what's happening right now on the internet with a renewed wave of love for singer Jeff Buckley, whose life and music are touching a new generation of listeners. Jeff Buckley, who died tragically at just 30 years old back in 1997, is being remembered today for much more than his untimely passing. Born into a musical family, Jeff grew up between California and New York and eventually found his way onto tiny club stages in Manhattan, where that remarkable soaring voice of his started turning heads. Before long, he recorded his now iconic album called Grace, an intimate, emotional collection of songs that didn't explode on the charts right away, but slowly became one of those treasured records people pass along to friends and loved ones. One of the songs from that album, his haunting version of Hallelujah, has become the soundtrack to countless weddings, memorials, and quiet late-night moments around the world. If you've ever heard that crystal-clear voice, gently lifting that familiar melody, you know why people are still talking about it today. Younger listeners are discovering it on streaming platforms and social media, and many are amazed to learn the man behind that song has been gone for nearly 3 decades. Jeff died in Memphis, Tennessee, while he was there working on new music. The details of that day are always handled gently by those who loved him, but what stands out most is that he left behind not just unfinished songs, but a lasting feeling that his work was something rare and deeply human. Friends, fans, and fellow musicians often describe him as sensitive, funny, and intensely dedicated to his craft, someone who poured his whole heart into every note he sang. In the years since, his mother and his loved ones have helped protect and share his legacy, carefully releasing recordings and honoring his memory in ways that feel true to who he was. Young artists today often cite him as an influence, and older fans who followed him in the 90s are sharing his music with their children and grandchildren, turning his story into a bridge between generations. What's especially touching is how his songs continue to bring comfort. Many people say they turn to his music during times of loss, change, or reflection, and somehow, that tender emotional voice makes them feel less alone. It's a powerful reminder that even a short life can leave behind a long, long echo. As the internet once again shines a light on Jeff Buckley's story, the focus isn't on the sadness of his early passing, but on the beauty he left behind. The songs, the performances, and that unforgettable version of Hallelujah that still stops people in their tracks. He may have been with us for only a brief time, but he is remembered as a shining, soulful artist whose music continues to inspire, heal, and connect people all over the world. News 4. You know, every once in a while a story comes along that reminds us just how powerful a parent's love can be and how deeply it shapes a life. Filmmaker and actor Kevin Smith, the 54-year-old director best known for movies like Clerks and Dogma, has shared the heartbreaking news that his mother, Grace Smith, has passed away. Kevin shared the update with fans online, speaking lovingly and gently about the woman who raised him. He didn't focus on the sadness alone, but on the humor, warmth, and encouragement she brought to his life. Grace wasn't a celebrity in the traditional sense, but if you've followed Kevin's career, you've heard about her countless times. She was the proud mom from New Jersey who cheered on her son's unlikely dream of making black and white movies in convenience stores. Kevin has often said that without her support and belief in him, there would be no Clerks, no movies, and no career quite like his. In his heartfelt message, Kevin described his mom as kind, funny, and endlessly patient, someone who always made room for other people's stories. He shared how she delighted in his work and in his fans, and how she enjoyed seeing the joy that his movies brought to others. Even as he mourns, he's clearly grateful for the many years they shared, and for the simple, everyday moments that now feel like treasures. Fans from all over the world have been sending messages of comfort, gratitude, and sympathy, thanking Grace for raising the storyteller who made them laugh, think, and feel a little less alone. It's a reminder that behind many of the artists and creators we admire, there's often a quiet hero at home, offering encouragement, reassurance, and love. Today, Kevin is honoring his mother not just with words, but by continuing to do what she believed in so strongly, telling stories, making people smile, and building community. And for those who've followed his journey over the years, Grace's influence can be felt in every heartfelt speech, every tender moment in his films, and every time he talks about family. Grace Smith will be remembered as a loving mother, a proud supporter, and the steady heart behind one of Hollywood's most distinctive storytellers. Her legacy lives on in her son's work, in the laughter she helped bring into the world, and in the reminder that believing in someone's dream can change a life forever. News 5. If you've ever loved a classic Robert De Niro movie, you might be glad to hear this little update from New York City. 80-year-old Oscar-winning actor Robert De Niro was recently photographed out and about in Manhattan with his right arm in a sling. He was walking alongside his longtime partner, Tiffany Chen, and though the sling caught people's attention, he looked calm, composed, and in good spirits as they made their way through the city streets. Details about exactly what happened to his arm have not been shared, and there's no official word on how he was injured. What we do see, though, is a man who has spent decades entertaining the world, still moving forward with quiet strength and dignity, even while recovering. Dressed casually, De Niro appeared steady on his feet, reminding fans that a small setback doesn't keep a true professional out of the spotlight for long. For many older Americans, Robert De Niro's career is woven into memories of going to the movies, watching late-night television, and sharing favorite film moments with family and friends. From powerful dramas to heartfelt comedies, his work has spanned generations and brought people together across all walks of life. Seeing him out with Tiffany, simply living his life and taking care of his health, is a gentle reminder that even our most iconic stars are human. They face aches, pains, and recovery just like the rest of us, and they do it one day at a time. Fans are sending warm wishes for healing and comfort his way, hoping that sling comes off soon and that he continues doing what he does best for many years to come. However long his recovery takes, Robert De Niro will be remembered and celebrated for his remarkable body of work, his enduring presence on screen, and the way he keeps moving forward with quiet resilience and grace. News 6. If you've ever dealt with nagging back pain, you might really lean into this story about Kylie Jenner and a new treatment that's getting a lot of attention. Kylie Jenner, the 27-year-old entrepreneur and mom of two, has opened up about quietly battling serious back pain after the birth of her children. According to a new report, she turned to a Canadian doctor, Dr. Adil Khan, and a specialized stem cell-based therapy to help her get her life back on track. Rather than just pushing through the pain, Kylie chose to explore advanced, regenerative medicine under professional care. Dr. Khan, who practices in the Toronto area, focuses on using carefully prepared stem cells to help repair injured tissue. The goal is to support the body's own healing process, so patients can move more comfortably, with less dependence on long-term pain medications. Kylie has shared that the treatment made a real difference for her, easing the back issues that had followed her since pregnancy. For many parents and grandparents who know how tough lingering pain can be, her experience is a reminder that it's okay to seek help, ask questions, and work closely with trusted medical professionals to find safe options. Doctors still emphasize that stem cell therapies should always be done in proper medical settings, with licensed experts and thoughtful follow-up care. It's not a magic fix, and every person's body is different. But stories like Kylie's show how quickly medical science is evolving, especially for chronic joint and back problems that used to be written off as just part of getting older. In the end, Kylie Jenner's journey isn't only about celebrity or cutting-edge procedures. It's about a young mom who wanted to feel strong enough to pick up her kids, run her businesses, and enjoy everyday life again. Her experience is sparking new conversations about pain, recovery, and hope for people of all ages. And as more patients, doctors, and researchers work together, this moment will be remembered as part of a larger shift toward gentler, more restorative ways of caring for our bodies, so we can stay active, present, and connected with the people we love. Number 1. She was smarter and weaker than time at the same time. She is no longer there. These haunting words from her friend and fellow artist echo what many feel at the passing of Kseniya Kachalina. At 54, Kseniya passed away after a period of declining health. Her absence leaves a silence in Russian cinema, where her presence once shimmered on both screen and stage. Audiences first took notice of her quiet power in early roles that hinted at a rare emotional depth. But it was her portrayal of Grand Duchess Tatiana in the Romanovs' A Crowned Family that became her most iconic performance. She didn't just play royalty, she embodied it with grace and vulnerability. Kseniya trained under two of Russia's most respected directors. That foundation gave her the courage to take on roles that challenged, provoked, and stayed with viewers long after the credits rolled. For her gripping role in Over Dark Water, she received the Best Actress award at the Taormina Film Festival, a moment that marked her as a force beyond national borders. Though her filmography ended in the mid-2000s, the impact of her work continues. Colleagues remember her as enigmatic and unafraid, a blend of fierce intellect and quiet rebellion. Her friend Alexei Agranovich described her as a punk, complex and alluring, someone who never conformed, even when life grew difficult. Behind the screen, Kseniya was a mother to her daughter Anna Maria, and for a time, a partner to actor Mikhail Efremov. Their shared years were woven between film sets and family life before parting ways. Later, Kseniya stepped back from public life. She faced personal challenges away from the spotlight, choosing privacy over the stage. Still, those who knew her say she carried a unique spark, the kind that flickers but never quite fades. Her roles brought quiet honesty to a world that often demands spectacle. Those who worked with her and those who watched her will remember a woman who made art her truth, even when life made the truth hard to carry. Tributes to Kseniya Kachalina. On the court, Eldon brought calm to chaos. Off the court, he brought laughter to everyone around him.